12-Sided Stories is for mature audiences and often deals with topics that may be difficult for some listeners. Discretion is advised. Come, brave the dark woods of folk horror with us in this Vaesen actual play, The Hidden North. Remember, 12-Sided Stories are always story-heavy, rules-light, and full of fright.
Hello, and welcome to The Hidden North, episode number 1. This is our Vaesen actual play. I've got some wonderful players here. Because this is episode 1, they're going to introduce themselves and their character as well, because we're going to be diving into things relatively quickly. Let us start with Michelle.
Hey, I am Michelle, she, her, and I am playing Greta Nielsen, she, her. Greta is about 48 years old. She has long, dirty blonde hair that she wears in, the little braids that are curled up like danishes on the sides of your head. She will sometimes wear a dirndl. She will sometimes just wear a regular dress. She's a little on the rounder side, and she owns it. She loves her voluptuousness. She can be a little curt with people, but she means well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Candace, also known as Candace the Magnificent. My pronouns are they, she. I am playing the Dr. Hildegard Brunson, also they, she. Hildegard is an interesting person. She's a physician by day. She's kind of just like the town doctor. She used to do medic work and things like that in the field. Like, she hasn't seen war, but she's kind of mostly been someone who did a sort of traveling situation where she'd go between towns and stuff like that, and was an apprentice for a while, and now has settled down. She has a house in the city, and she's doing her best. She does have a predilection toward the strange and unusual, so her country life is boring the heck out of her, which is why she is here today with all of you. I am very excited to play this game and hope that things don't get too creepy, because Hildegard might be too delighted.
Hi, I'm Saint or Saint Spider, and I am playing Sieve Kask, she, her, and I also go by she, her pronouns. Sieve is about 23 years old. She's on the more willowy side. The interesting thing about her appearance is that she kind of is one hue for the most part, a kind of coppery tan from hair to skin, to even her nails have kind of like a tannish hue, and it makes her look kind of gross in like a way that she doesn't really care about, but other people might kind of notice. And she has a birthmark, what they would call like a wine stain, but it has like a greenish undertone that goes from her cheek slightly down to her collarbone, and it kind of is a little speckly. But aside from that, mostly unassuming features, not super tall, average, maybe on the thinner side, and tends to wear looser clothing, little roguish, a roguish teenager. And she's kind of trying to figure herself out like a roguish teenager. She is from a smaller village, and she has had very strange things happen early in her life that she does not understand. I probably can't go into that much right now, but she certainly is in the right place right now, hunting Vaesen and looking for the supernatural.
Hello, everyone. I'm Piper. I use they, them pronouns, and today I am playing Elizabeth Peirce, who uses she, they pronouns. Elizabeth is a writer, around 30 years old, and Elizabeth is a taller individual, around 5'10", usually wears kind of a lot of burgundies and darker colors, very pale complexion with little freckles, very dark red hair that's kind of usually done up in like a half updo, half downdo, and very much always carries around a lot of leaflets, papers, quills, parchment, that sort of thing to write down a lot of her inspirations, as she is a writer and a composer and is quite excited to explore and get out there to find new inspiration.
Enjoying the show? Then take a moment to join our Patreon, support the podcast, and get early access to episodes and bonus content. Head to 12-Sided Stories Patreon today.
Because this is episode 1, we're going to jump straight into things. You all suddenly find yourself in a very dark forest with large trees all around you. There is some moonlight that is spindling through the different pines, and you can hear the wind, but there isn't a lot of light around. The things that you can see are off in the distance. There are 3 paths in front of you. You're in a small clearing. At the end of one path looks to be some kind of fountain or natural spring, and it's illuminated by moonlight. The center one has a large oak tree that looks out of place. It is completely illuminated by moonlight. And the third one is a cabin that seems to have some kind of light inside of it that glows a bit red. You don't remember how you got here. The last thing you remember was arriving in Uppsala to join the society and to do basically research on different types of Vaesen. And you're trying to remember anything else, but you just get little glimpses of people's faces. That's it. You're all just standing there. You remember each other. You'd met and introduced yourselves, and you know each other, but you don't know how you got here. So what would you all like to do?
I think as Hildegard kind of shakes off the stupor, they stand up and stretch, arms kind of reaching toward this shimmering sky in like a big, long yawn, trying to shake off this weird vibe that they have. She is about 6 feet tall, big, broad shoulders, very kind of strong in stature with caramel-colored complexion, black features, and her kinky curly hair is kind of pulled back and up off of her shoulders into almost turban of hair on top of her head. And she sort of just like rubs her hands on the apron, the kind of medical apron she wears, and starts to walk toward the cabin first.
Okay, so you don't say anything to anyone else?
No.
Okay, well then let's figure out what everyone else is doing.
Are you sure that's the way you want to go?
Where else would we go? I mean, it doesn't seem like there are places. I mean, do you want to go for a midnight swim?
I don't know, it looks friendlier.
As refreshing as that would be, let's make sure that's actually a cabin. And Steve would like to do a roll if it's not too early.
What kind of roll would you like to do?
I have observation under my empathy.
Sure, give it a go.
All right. Would I have to get a 6?
1-6.
1-6? I got exactly 1-6. I'm looking using my wherewithal at this cabin. It's like, does anything seem suspicious?
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a red light coming out of it. Besides the red light, which is not a very luminescent thing in the first place, the outside of it looks very dark. It definitely looks the most foreboding of all 3, but there's nothing that pops out to you like it's going to suddenly rise up with chicken legs or anything like that, which I'm sure is part of the thing that you're all thinking. This is not a Baba Yaga trap, I'll tell you that.
Hildegard is disappointed.
You gotta go further, east to get into that, so.
The light is shining red, and I feel as though I need to go check it out. I don't know what awaits me in there, but I don't imagine that it's in this pool of water.
Okay, I'll follow behind you.
Now, I am perfectly fine with people splitting the party up. That is your choice.
So early? Wow.
It's up to you. I have no skin in this game.
Such a generous offer.
I know.
Thank you.
Greta just kind of shoots a look at Elizabeth and kind of like, I guess we're going.
Elizabeth is looking around, and as everyone else is talking, is making notes in just one of her little journals, and then immediately looks up at Greta and says, "Oh, right, we're going towards the creepy cabin, okay." And shuts the book with the feather inside, putting it away.
So, one thing, just to let you know, when you reach for your possessions, all you have is clothes on. There are no books.
Oh, okay, I'll have to keep that in my head then. Do you remember what happened? As Elizabeth starts to kind of trot up, picking up her dress and walking beside Greta.
No, I'm in the same situation. I have no idea.
Okay, because I'll admit I'm quite confused, concerned.
Steve turns back towards them and is like, I don't even remember leaving Uppsala. When did we get there?
I don't remember.
No, I don't either.
I don't have any recollection of that. I know I got there. I know why I'm here, but I don't know the how of why we're here.
You remember everything up to arriving in the city. You met each other at an asylum. You had originally gotten messages from a Linnea who was a part of the society but had committed herself after something terrible happened to the society. She won't go near Castle Gillenkreuz. You also remember everything after that, the conversation with Linnea, the going to the castle. But then once you get to the castle, things start getting a little murky. You remember your entire life before that. You remember showing up. You remember the song that the neck played. You just don't remember how the hell you got here. Whatever time passed between walking into the castle and arriving in this strange wood.
Something tells me this is some kind of initiation for us. Perhaps some kind of test to prove we have our mettle, yes?
Well, that's a good point. If this is a test, do we think maybe we should not be approaching the front of the cabin?
I suppose...
I don't know if it's a test. I think just having the sight is test enough.
It might be, to be honest, not a test of the society, but maybe the place.
Possibility.
Does anyone know anything about Vaesen who might affect, spaces and time, memory?
If any of you have learning investigation or, hell, I'll even give you observation if you want to do that one.
Ooh.
Oh.
So any one of those things.
Learning, and where's my logic? Ooh,
I'm going to abstain from
dice.
this one since Elizabeth's asking the question.
Okay.
I need to get more dice for this one. I got no 6s
No.
on 14,000 dice, so...
Oh. Were we all supposed to be...
If you want to.
We're off to a strong start.
So Elizabeth did ask the question to the group, so if everyone would like to be like, oh, wait, let me think.
Elizabeth, I think you have a point. I do think maybe it might be Vaesen. I don't see anything. I don't see nothing.
I got a 6.
Greta, you're not entirely sure, but you do remember reading something about certain troll magics being able to warp reality. And there's also the other possibility that this is some kind of fey reality, but you're not sure. Or you could have got knocked out and dropped in the middle of the woods. But the way everything is set up, it feels very much like Vaesen. There are 3 locations for you to go.
None of which seem particularly attractive. Yeah.
Right.
It's making me think of Cabin in the Woods.
Where are we betting on?
If you
Which
choose
one do you want
this,
to?
you go to this.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not that at all, but yeah, I get your vibe.
I tell them everything you just said. It could be troll magic. It could be that we're in the Fey realm.
Yeah. You're getting close to the cabin, and Steve had mentioned maybe not going through the front door or going to the front door. Hildegard, do you take that into consideration, or are you going to go straight for the front door? What's your plan? Because you are in the lead right now.
Hildegard is a little overeager. That doesn't belie their excitement, doesn't really belie their very stern appearance. They keep their emotions inside, but they've already started to reach for the handle when everyone starts to kind of talk about maybe this isn't the right move and all that stuff. And as she hears that it could be fey magic, they grasp this necklace that's under their clothes and kind of hold it tight and turn around away from the door back toward their companions, waiting to see what everybody else might want to do. A little, not shaken, but definitely more sharp in their behavior than they were before. Before they were just like, we're just going to go in this door. And now they're like, okay, listening. Go ahead. What do you want?
Steve sees this and is like, hey, wait, all my items are gone. You still have your necklace?
Well, I mean, it's part of my personal effects. It's something I'm wearing. I imagine that's why.
And you touch for it, and you thought you had it in your hand, and you don't.
I don't understand.
All you have is cloth.
I have my apron. I mean, that is as much a part of me as my necklace. I don't understand. It's fine. We don't need that. Maybe we proceed with more caution.
Right.
Yes. So here's my idea. We go around the cabin since we're already at the front door, we go around the cabin to the back door so that we can see if there's anything along the sides before we decide to go in.
Okay.
I'd say that's fair and balanced, as Steve has already been backing away from the door this whole time. Just no desire to be first or even third.
I'm going to throw out an old thing that happened a long time ago in a Call of Cthulhu game. I was playing at a convention and none of the party wanted to go through a door. They're like, I don't want to go through that door. And one of the players, my friend Ryan, said, you know what's through the door? Plot.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So
That's where the story
We'll do it
happens.
eventually.
We'll do it eventually.
We'll do it eventually.
Who wants to go with who? Who's splitting up with who? Greta, are you and Steve going one way and Elizabeth and Hildegard go the other?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So as you're going around, you notice that the side that you're on, Greta and Steve, you notice that there is a small smokestack coming out of the top, like one of those old stoves that has a long pipe that goes up to the top of the ceiling and then comes out of the roof. And you see that there's smoke coming out, just a little spindle of it. And there is a small window that is high up where you see this glow come out of. I'm going to explain the other side to everybody else real quick. Elizabeth and Hildegard, as you're going around the side, there's a much larger window on this side. It's about half the size of the wall and maybe like 4 feet wide. There's curtains, and you can see hanging herbs on the top of it too, like they've been dried out. And there's this glow coming out of the red light that I speak of. Let's start with Greta. And I'm not saying that you're passing by the window yet. I'm going to let you all tell me what you want to do. But I'm going to start with Greta and Steve. What do you two want to do? The window on your side is kind of high up and it's smaller, so you can pass under it without any problem. But if you were to try to look into it, one of you would have to boost the other one up to take a look.
Okay. Wait, is Greta 5'10"? No, that's
No, I'm short.
Elizabeth. Okay, the shorties are together. Okay. Yay. First, what does the smoke smell like?
Good question. It smells like stew. There's no foul smell to it.
I turn to Greta and I'm kind of starting to crouch. Like, okay, someone's making dinner. Perhaps we sneak under the window and see if we can hear anything.
I like that idea.
You get up to the side near the window, and you hear the sound of a rocking chair slowly going back and forth, just kind of creaking, and a really low song being hummed. You can't really make it out. Sounds a bit like a lullaby, but you're not sure.
This isn't my song, right?
You can't tell.
Okay.
Okay, Greta, that's very creepy. Should we keep going around and warn our friends behind the cabin?
Yes. Some Vaesen sing songs and take children.
And the hairs on the back of my neck stand all the way up. I start to shiver.
All right, so let's flip over to the other two. Hildegard and Elizabeth, you are at the edge of where the big window is. If you get down on all fours, you could crawl underneath it. You can also be next to this window, hear the sound of the rocking chair. You can even hear the boiling of stew, just real low, kind of simmer, and the really light sound of a song being hummed.
I think Hildegard looks at Elizabeth. I am, quite frankly, very not petite, as you can see. You are tall, but also, and she does she puts her hands up in front of her and does like a shrinky motion, like pressing her hands together. I cannot, I don't think I can peek and notice a thing.
Well, I think the curtains are drawn right now, so we can probably...
No, they're partially open.
Oh, they're partially open. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so what we could do is I'm going to take a peek, see if there's anyone there, and if there is, we'll find a different way to get underneath. It'll be okay.
Okay. I mean, I can crawl. I could get down like animal and crawl underneath if I need to.
It looks muddy though. I wouldn't want you to do that.
You're too kind. I don't mind. I have worse things on me, usually.
All right. You see that Elizabeth will stealthily kind of try and take a little peek inside the slit.
All right, so this is definitely going to be a roll.
Oh, good.
You get 2, and then I believe it's precision that makes the most sense to me. So you have a 4 and a 2, so that's 6 die altogether.
Oh no. That is absolutely no 6s.
All right.
We're in danger.
So as you get closer to the window, you look up and you kind of come across from the side. And when you peer in, you see a face looking directly at you. It's a woman. She has on a white gown and she has a baby that she's holding to her breast feeding. And she looks at you for a second. And then she just kind of slowly turns around and sits back down in her rocking chair and just goes back to rocking back and forth and doesn't really pay much attention to you. I need a fright check. Can you roll? You can pick whether you want to do logic or empathy. I would pick empathy if I were you.
Yeah.
And you have to get 2 successes.
Oh no. Okay.
Do they get an additional die because I'm there, or is that
You
only
are.
when it's
Yeah,
all of us?
yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you for being here for me.
Yeah.
Give me 1.
Like I said, if you want to split up, that's a great thing for me. I mean, you know.
Okay, well, success has been had. That is 2 6s.
All right, so you're fine. I mean, beyond what you want to role play, you're not freaking out or running away or freezing or attacking or whatever. So however you want to respond to that.
Is everything okay? Do you see anything? Do you see anyone?
Elizabeth is just staring inside at this woman, and I think kind of getting some bravery will just take the moment to look inside.
Okay, so you look inside and it looks like a very rustic cabin. Like it's got the old potbelly stove. It's got different implements on the walls for, you know, like an axe and different tools and things that you would find around a cabin or a farm. It's a 1-bedroom deal. There's a small bed and then there's a wood bassinet. The woman looks like she's in her mid-20s, which is actually a little bit older than would be normal for the time period, right? You notice hanging on the wall in the very far corner, a nun's habit.
Interesting.
You notice that the baby hasn't detached at all. It's just eaten. And there's a pot of stew going. And that's pretty much it. They've got the herbs and stuff hanging from where the, curtain rod is. And she's just rocking back and forth. And you notice, though, if you stand there and stare at her, every once in a while she'll just kind of look at you and then look back down at the baby. No expression on her face at all.
Elizabeth will glance over to Hildegard and say, I got fully spotted. There's a woman with a babe who's very, very hungry. It seems very plain inside, more or less. Not really reacting to me much. Occasionally glancing, but no emotion.
That doesn't seem normal.
No, it does. I don't know what this means. Let's keep walking. I don't think we'll need to be stealthy at this point.
Should we tell our companions?
Well, when we get there, let them know that they know they have guests.
Okay, she thinks it's just us. Maybe she don't know that we're people that we're with. Maybe she thinks it's just us. It's just, just you.
It's true. If you want to do your crawling thing, I'll just stand here for a second.
Okay. Hildegard definitely gets down on all fours. She's pretty beefy, so I feel like even on her hands and knees, they're still probably just underneath the lip of this window. There's a big lady. And as they sort of try to make their way, they do the best they can to be as methodical as possible so that they're not making a ton of noise. Is there anything I see when I'm down there?
The ground does feel different. It's just not quite same as the normal dirt that you've felt underneath your feet. It has a bit more give to it, and though you can't see much, the usual crunching of leaves and twigs and stuff this doesn't seem like the same substance. When you crack, it sounds more hollow. So when you press down on whatever you're pressing on, you hear snaps and hollow crunches as opposed to more of a tree branch kind of sound.
After I clear the window, I'm on my knees and I pick my hands up and look at like the crumbs of whatever. Does it look like twigs?
Looks like bone.
Yep, that's what I thought. Great, good. Hildegard rises quickly, taken aback, and looks back at Elizabeth. We are standing in bones. Lots and lots of bones.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. And Elizabeth is still looking straight ahead while just talking. And I think we'll kind of sidestep out of the way of the window.
Yeah, Hildegard holds out like a big hand to you to try and like ease your movement through these bones.
Fully, Elizabeth will take Hildegard's hand and take a few careful steps. Okay, so, do you think they're eating people inside? I'm guessing.
I mean, you said you only saw the one woman, and that she is breastfeeding. I am a doctor. I know that sometimes women, they have a special hunger for certain things, but I don't think it is this sort of hunger. I've maybe not seen that before, personally.
Oh, all right. That's okay. Well, she's seen me, so hopefully there can be negotiations.
All right, so I'm going to say you all make it around to the back door. And at the back door, you notice that there is a chicken coop. It looks a bit run down, but it's there. And you see a place where there's a stump and an axe on top of that stump with 2 nails sticking up. It's obviously where she kills the chickens. And there is a back door. Did you have a question?
No, I was just going to say kills the chickens. Sure.
Yeah, or whatever else. You get to the back door. What do you say to each other?
Okay, so you might have noticed the music. I'm assuming we can still hear it at this point. Why do you guys look so freaked out?
Well, there's a lady inside, a mother with her babe. Fully saw me, unfortunately. Also bones on the ground. Not the best.
Lots of bones, like a great number of bones, like too many bones.
Right then, the back door slowly opens, and you just see the back of the chair rocking.
Well, she knows Elizabeth is here. She does not know about me, I think. But do you want to go in with maybe some backup, or do we all go in together and hope for the best?
I think that want is a strong word.
Somehow I get the feeling she knows all of us are here.
Yeah. As Steve peers through the cracked door, or is it fully open?
It's cracked. It's probably like 3 inches open.
She seems still further back than at least Hildegard.
Uh-huh.
But she is trying to see if she can see anything of note. Like a face, perhaps, staring at them.
No, there's no face. And it doesn't seem possible that she would have been able to open the door and move all that distance. I mean, it's not a huge cabin. You're probably looking at like 15 or 20 foot by like 10 foot wide kind of thing. So very basic cabin. But you do notice that the floorboards have a lot of scratches on it. And if you look even closer, you might be able to pick out a couple of embedded fingernails.
Okay, so Steve kind of slowly points. There's no way we're going inside there on purpose. And she's backing away kind of towards the chicken house. Just like, we should not go in there. And she's looking around, but kind of losing it a little bit. Not losing it, but just like her voice is getting a little maybe too loud.
I might prefer our chances at the lake or the oak.
I was going to say, is it too late for us to perhaps go back and explore the other places first? I think maybe we have better chances, yes.
Yeah, and Steve's still backing up, but like facing them, but like, yeah, it's too obvious that walking in there is immediate doom. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't.
No, it makes sense. I also don't want to go inside. Maybe if we go somewhere else, we'll find something we can give to the woman as a gift instead of us going in.
Perhaps a chicken.
Aye, perhaps a chicken. We can let one go inside, not us.
Is there any sign? Steve's looking towards the chicken house. Is there even any sign of an animal?
Well, if you get close enough to the coop and you look inside, if you look in there, there is a huge hen just sitting there, kind of hanging out. You don't see any other in the coop, just that one chicken.
Oh, hello. Do you talk?
It just looks at you with a very chicken face.
Just had to check. There's a lot going on. There is a chicken in here. I say to the group.
Perfect.
If it has left something alive, that is a positive.
Mm-hmm.
I stick my head kind of maybe a little close, rather, into the chicken coop and be like, is there anything else in here?
You look around and the chicken kind of moves a little bit and you notice that the chicken's sitting on 3 eggs. Whatever the mother has been doing in the cabin, she has not come out to collect the eggs in a while. And it seems like this chicken might be trying to hatch these eggs.
But there's no rooster.
There's no rooster that you see.
Which means, and I look at the chicken and I try to see, there's a lot of chicken stuff, I'm sorry. I just heard myself. She looks at the chicken. May I use my...
What do you want to do?
I guess observation again to see if this is a sickly animal.
I won't make you make that roll. It looks plump. It looks healthy. It definitely doesn't look like it's in distress at all. It's just sitting there.
Well, I'm gonna reach in and try to pick it up.
It makes its typical chicken sounds. Give me a agility roll.
Oh, crap.
Your agility plus your physique.
Oh, crap.
And if you don't have any agility, you just get your physique.
Oh, no. Awesome. Well, I guess, grabbing chickens is an exercise, so...
It is. It's almost as bad as trying to grab a pig, so...
Jesus Christ. I don't know what I just have no plan, so... Why not pick up an animal that's not mine? Okay, here we go. Here, chick. I failed.
All right, so you pick up the chicken. It freaks out. You're trying to hold on to it. It gets away and just starts running around the cabin and then disappears into the woods.
Sorry about that, guys.
Where I come from, you lose bait, you become bait.
Well, there are still eggs, so Sims tries to scramble in there to get the eggs out. Can she pick them up?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
they're just
normal?
eggs. Yeah, they're
Okay.
normal eggs.
Scramble in there to get the eggs out.
It's shit.
Yeah.
Not even on purpose. I wish I did it on purpose. So now she's holding 3 eggs. Like we could roll these in there if we really needed to bait her.
Well, at this point, I believe all of you had talked about possibly going to one of the other locations first. Do we still want to do that, or do you want to use the chicken eggs to try to bait the mother feeding her child?
We are woefully unprepared to take on a Vaesen.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I say we go to either the lake or the oak.
Yeah, the moment that the chicken runs away, Hildegard starts walking toward the other 2.
Okay.
Plan A has failed.
Which place do you want to go to? The natural spring or the old oak?
Oh, so it's not a lake, it's a spring.
Yeah, it's like a little hill of rocks that has a little spring of water that's coming down into a pool.
Hildegard has a curious look on their face. Their eyes are kind of alighting on the spring, and they say, I've done some research on Vaesen, and it seems like if we go to the spring, we might see something we like, or we might see something we very much are not going to like.
I give us better odds than at the cabin.
I don't know what kind of Vaesen might be in like a tree, but it could be some people say a mermaid in the spring, a beautiful lady.
Or a very mean man with a fiddle.
I shouldn't like that.
Well, if it's a beautiful lady, we cover our ears and run.
Same thing with the fiddle.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a beautiful lady, we could try to talk to her. I can be very charming when I want to. I know that I don't look it. I know I look kind of... I'm big and a little bit, frightening. But I can tell you this. When I want to put it on, I put it on. And they give you like a wolfish smile. Hildegard is not necessarily a beautiful femme person, but when they put the smile on, it's like, okay, I see. I can see a little bit. I can see it. All right.
Can we agree on something, though?
Mm-hmm.
Unless our lives depend on it, can we not flirt with the Vaesen?
Please.
Oh,
Please. No.
I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out, how to... It's fine. You know what? I do that on my own time.
Yeah. Maybe when we remember where we are, that'd be good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, the spring then, that's where you're headed.
To the spring.
All right, there's a large hill that is very rocky, and there's a small river that's coming down into a pond, and all around the pond are small creatures. They look like humans, but they have very elfish faces and wings, and they're dancing with each other. And then there's a young lady sitting there listening to a creature with a fiddle and trying to write down part of it. But here's the catch. There's no sound happening at all. You see him playing, you see them dancing, and you see this young woman entranced by it all, but there's no sound.
Fairies. Steve clutches the eggs that she didn't put down and starts to shield herself behind Hildegard. If you want to deal with this, I'm just gonna... I don't.
May I have one of the eggs, Steve?
Sure. She hands it over suspiciously.
I take one of the eggs and I leave it near enough that they can see it, but not so near as I'm interrupting what they're doing. I just leave it on the ground and I walk away a little bit.
All right. Elizabeth, I'd like all of you to give me a fear check, because this is disconcerting, the fact that you can't hear anything besides your own voices. Like I said, you can pick logic or empathy. You get a +3 because everybody else is there with you. So it's logic or empathy +3. And you need to get 1 instead of 2, so just 1 success.
That's +3 dice, not +3 addition.
+3 dice.
Success.
Right. 2 successes.
Success.
Success.
Not a single 6.
Oh no.
So here's what you get to choose. You choose what happens. You can push the roll and you will get a mental condition. If you don't push the roll, or if you fail the push, you then become terrified for 1d6 rounds and you take multiple mental conditions. What do you want to do?
I'll push the roll. They're angry because they've been told not to flirt, and when they got there, it was a pretty lady, just like they said. So Hildegard is begrudgingly kind of going along with this, like, we could just tell her she's beautiful, and that could probably solve at least half our problems right now, but it's fine. What do I know, right?
So roll a 6.
I got 3 6s.
Wow, that's awesome. You're in control.
So Hildegard is just there with their arms crossed, scowling a little bit, rolling their eyes that there's like a beautiful woman, and just kind of like lets the other 3 kind of go ahead and provide their recommendation.
Okay. So Elizabeth in particular, this person looks really familiar to you. It's you. You know it's you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same scene that you can remember from the time. It's even the same creature. And you know he's playing the song, but you can't hear it.
Elizabeth will, with a bit of reckless abandon, is going to start quickly walking towards herself to try and look over her own shoulder.
You start walking among the fairies. You notice that they start dancing around in between your feet, and some of them start to dance up around you as you get closer to them. And you look over their shoulder and you see a full page of musical notes. And then suddenly everything starts to fade just as quickly as you looked. And all of you are just standing there in a black forest, and everything that was there a moment ago is gone. And that's where we're going to stop this episode. All right.
What? We have
So-
more to discover.
Oh my God.
So I hope you all enjoyed this. I definitely did. Where can we find all you wonderful people? Let's start with Piper.
Hi, everyone. This is Piper. You can find me on Twitter at Maddie Mateehee. That's MattyMateehee, or on Twitch at Mateehee. I occasionally stream some wonderful gay pirate adventures with, of course, our wonderful Candace here, as well as some other lovely individuals. You can find all that I do there when I occasionally post, and I've had such a lovely time today.
Hello, everybody. I've been Candace the Magnificent. As Piper said, you can find me every other Saturday, for the most part, on What We Do in the Shallows on their Twitch channel. You can also hear me over at the Bloom and Blight podcast, wherever you catch your pods. And if you are a Patreon subscriber for 12-Sided Stories, you can hear me as Vaughn the Creepy Android in Beyond the Outer. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at the Candace Marie and at Candace Magnificent everywhere else.
Hi, I'm Saint Spider, and honestly, not too much on the social media these days. You can find me on Twitter at Saint Spider TV, but honestly, I uninstalled the app. I'm so sorry, but I am in some previous 12-Sided Stories campaigns, so just check out that back catalog.
Hey, I'm Michelle. You can find me on the socials at Michulu. That's Michulhu. You can find my music and Wes's amazing sound effects if you subscribe to the Plate Mail Games catalog on BattleBards.
And I am Wes Otis. You can find me at Plate Mail Games on all the different socials. You can find us at 12-Sided Stories, all spelled out, .com, all one word, at our website, or you can find us on all the socials, the number 12 and then Sided Stories. We have a Discord as well, so come follow us, come say hi, let us know what you like about the show. If you want to help out the show, give us a shout out, give us a review on your favorite platform, or become a Patreon member and get to listen to literally 400 posts. There's so much stuff on there. And we have a great mothership game going on right now, as Candace had mentioned. This has been a lot of fun, and we will see you all in a week to see what happens next. Bye everybody.
Bye-bye.